Hello, hello, welcome again. Today's topic is gonna be your change is never gonna be what you expect to be. Which means very often people are going on therapy or visiting therapists, psychotherapists, specialists, psychologists, or even esoteric teachers, spiritual teachers, with certain expectations. They want to sort out their problems. They want to help themselves to be a better person, or first of all, they want to get rid of their fears. They want to overcome their struggles. They want to fix their marriages or finances or the family members. So basically, they want to make things better. And because of that, they have a certain expectations, and every experienced specialist, every therapist, every psychologist, every experienced spiritual teacher or esoteric teacher or any energy healer, anyone who knows quite well about human nature tells you that people basically have certain expectations, and they are coming with these expectations, and during the therapy or during any treatment, very often they are disappointed because the expectation doesn't match the reality. And the thing is, very often will never match the reality. Because, for example, if you're coming because you want to find out how can you fix your marriage, which means you're suspecting that you're doing maybe something wrong. If you will get better, if you will be better person, if you will find out how can you manage your own emotions, to build up better relationship, then that's gonna fix your marriage, that's gonna fix your relationship. And then it might happen that after therapy, after a while, your marriage will break up even quicker. Because, for example, during the therapy or during the consultations, you might discover that actually this relationship is quite toxic for you, and you are lying to yourself in general, and the best solution will be just end up the relationship, or you're gonna change yourself for the better. You're gonna become more patient, more assertive, emotionally balanced, and all of a sudden your partner will say something's wrong with you. Your partner will decide, I'm leaving because you've changed. And like I said, the relationship will break up, basically, will be over. Sometimes it can be the situation when you want to stay in your workplace because you have a good pay. You get used to it because you're working there for years, and actually you like the position you have, and you don't mind to stay. Of course, you have bad days and better days. There are good and bad sides of everything, pros and cons, but overall you want to stay in your job. But because you became more tired, stressed out, everything became so heavy for you, you're going to the specialist because you're suspecting maybe it's just your health issue. Maybe you're just stressed out because, your life is very busy in many areas. And the last thing you would expect would be to discover for yourself, to learn for yourself that probably first thing you want to change is exactly your job. Despite everything, despite so-called common sense telling you that you're crazy about it, but it turns out that your job could be, your workplace could be the factor that actually burns you and drains you from your energy the most. Also, you can go on some treatment. You can go and search for counseling, for specialist advice to be better family member, to understand, to have a better relations with your parents or with your siblings. And it turns out later that actually you realize that there is no easy way to fix the relationship or any contact with your siblings or with your parents, because to be honest, that would be the contact, and continuing the contact would be very toxic for you and basically very unhealthy. And the best solution you might find out for yourself, you might discover, it would be, for example, to even go step back even more and sometimes even cut completely the contact. So, like I said, the personal development might be something completely opposite what we expect, what we hope for, what we dream about. And also, if it comes to us, we might have the expectations that we will learn how to be a better person. We will go through therapy and we will find out our programming and we will work with that. And then we would, for example, find a life partner, or we would be better family member and we would behave in a certain way, or we would be more engaged in our religion, or we would be more engaged into our community group, or we might have expectations, for example, that we're gonna be more, for men, more manly, like a James Bond. Or for women, they might have expectations that they're gonna be more feminine and more delicate, dressed in flowers. That was me. I thought I'm gonna be finding like really feminine, the real woman. And actually, like I said, after therapy, after personal development, the results can be maybe similar, but slightly different. But very often happens, the results are completely different. Like, personally, I found out for myself, like I said, I wanted to be really finally the real woman and feminine. And actually, I became less feminine. The real tomboy. Even more than ever. And I had to learn, and that was a part of my development, of rediscovering myself, to accept that. Accept whatever came out, The same like accepting the fact that I'm in autistic spectrum. And I remember even to go on the therapy courses and certain courses of development with, now I realize that, with a little hope that maybe, just maybe, I would fix my autism. Guess what? It came out even stronger. But the qualities of spectrum, which are my qualities, I just integrated more smoothly in a better way because I accepted them. So we are all works in progress. So our progress when we start will never end. We are constantly changing. But like I said, when we're stepping into that and we start, whether it's a therapy, classical therapy, or any type of therapy, or like I said, is some spiritual teaching or some esoteric knowledge and wisdom, it doesn't matter. Whatever suits you, whatever wakes you up, and whatever puts you in that position when you start your journey to rediscover yourself, you can expect everything. Most of the time, you can expect things you would never planned. At the end, the most important is to accept your own changes and accept the whole process and emotions and feelings which they're coming, and accepting the changes. Just like I said, just like, for example, with the situation when your relationship suddenly will be finished, or your family relations and contacts will stop, or they won't be like before. To accept that, to realize that sometimes there is no other way. Because when you're staying as you were before, it's getting harder and you're suffering more and more. Yes, you might be accepted by people closest to you, including your partner, including your family members. You might be accepted and you might be liked because very often these people have lots of benefits from the fact that you are the way you are. Not always, but often. And when you're changing, it's a challenge. When you start to change, well, you try to build up first, automatically, you try to build up for yourself an image of yourself after those changes, after the development, like the end product. And you want to gain that, you want to become this person, which is actually the construct of you. It's not the real you. It's the construct. But the main goal of a proper therapy or real development, personal development, is to rediscover yourself, which means you are becoming more you, and whatever that means. And it's the most scary thing if in the process you realize that actually you are discovering something you would never guess. You never even suspected, which means you never knew yourself. And for the programming, which comes from your childhood, which comes from your family system, for that programming, this is the most scary thing. Your programming, your own subconscious mind is freaking out, is telling you, oh my goodness, we're gonna die here, we're gonna perish. And the resistance comes into the surface all the time because, my goodness, what are you doing? Nobody's gonna like you. You're gonna perish. You're gonna end up in some dreadful situation. You're gonna be on your own. Nobody's gonna like you. You're gonna be a horrible person. This is all the programming here in your head. So, like I said, for me to discover for myself that I will never be that end product, which means the construct I created for myself at the beginning of my journey and my therapy and my development and my courses when I went through the education. I just discovered I will never be what I thought I will be. I was hoping for it. And in fact, I realized if I would really become that construct, it's not only that it wouldn't be me, it would be just my persona, but I don't really think I would like this person. Because in the end, that would be so fake. I realized finally, I think I want to be just me. I think I will take the courage to be just me. I will be brave enough to be me and accept that. And that's something which still goes on for me, and it takes years. Because it's also the very scary thing to become just yourself. Authentic yourself in a society where for being yourself you can pay high price. First of all, for example, you're gonna be rejected by people closest to you. For me to become more me, the part of it was, for example, leaving the religion I was raised in since my childhood. I was for all these years Jehovah's Witness, devoted, very zealous. And the last couple of years, basically, so this is just a recent development, I realized this is one of the constructs. This is one of the constructs. This is not even me. Not only that, this is so not a part of my nature. And I'm not even saying about certain moral, ethical values or even Christian values. I'm just saying that being part of that community and that religion, it's not for me. But obviously, when you're raised into certain values in a certain tradition, it's like being raised in a certain family where the values and where the programming is like this and that, and we're all doing things like that, and you all of a sudden discover, well, I was just raised in it, so I didn't know anything else, but that's not even me. That's not even for me. That's not good for me. I want to change. And to accept yourself with the need of changing it, to accept yourself that because you want to change it or because you want to stop doing something, you're not a bad person. That's a great challenge. And also, that's the reason so many people will have to really hit the rock bottom in their lives to even think about the therapy. For example, or for about some changes, for some about some development, they would really have to hit the bottom, because otherwise they will never even consider to ask some questions, to think that maybe finally I need some changes, because either I'm gonna change or that's gonna be the end of me. For some people, this is really hard wake-up call. But yet, if somebody has to hit the rock bottom to realize that and to start the journey, that's this person's journey. That's how it goes for that person. So this is also okay. So in the end, actually, the main goal or any personal development, any therapy, is to become not someone, not the person and not the construct, not the end result. Because this is again becoming something else and someone else rather than become yourself. So at the end, the goal is becoming more you. And to accept this person, which you are. Like truly accept, because at the end of the day also, you are the one person who's gonna stay with you till the rest of your life. So better to like yourself. Better to like this person who stays with you no matter what. Yeah, and that's my thoughts for today. Thank you very much.